Yeah, but grown people are going to do what they do, and you can't always stop somebody.
He loved driving very, very fast and had numerous accidents in the past. Because Lindsay Lohan is Lindsay Lohan, right. It's like, oh, I don't know. I hope that he was not drunk, because that's just being really irresponsible. Like, it could have been prevented, you know, like anybody at the party that had seen him.
Yeah, but grown people are going to do what they do, and you can't always stop somebody from doing what they want to do. That's what happens if you're drunk and you drive and you crash your car.
But even then, he had a friend with him too. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't just responsible for his own life.
Right.
It was another person in the car with him. Like,
I think everybody at some point in their life has had, you know, a night where you should not have driven.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the next day you're just like, woo, thank you, I made it home. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, it's one thing, because like when you're in the moment, it's kind of like, well, I don't want to sleep in my car. I don't want to stay here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like you think about your options or whatever, and the only option you really have is to get home. And if you brought someone to the party or whatever, or someone's like, you know, asking you for a ride, you're kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I know someone and they just got into a nasty car accident. You know what I mean? But it's like, you you never think it's gonna it's gonna be you.
It's a mistake that everybody makes.
Yeah.
Just most people.
And that's why California is so harsh with their laws. Like, their laws are ridiculous, but it makes sense.
But they're not, though. I don't think that's ridiculous, because the consequences of what could happen, obviously, like, so it needs to be a big deterrent.
It is. But I mean, but that's the thing. It's, you know, kind of going into the whole Lindsay Lohan thing. It's kind of like, is there a line where it's kind of like, well, I'm Joe Schmo and I have 300 hours of community service, not to mention I spent, you know, like X amount of time in jail, but because Lindsay Lohan is Lindsay Lohan, it's like, oh, sorry.
If something happens, if she gets locked up, let me know. Otherwise, I don't need 20 updates a day about the non-issue that is Lindsay Lohan. I don't care. Like, put her in jail, call it a day. Or just leave her alone, let her go. If you're not gonna, like, who cares? I don't. What did she even start getting in trouble for in the first place? What even started all this? Didn't she do a hit and run? Or is that somebody else?
I don't remember what she did in the first place.
See? Nobody even knows what this bitch did. We just know that she's been on probation for 20 years. Who cares? I don't care. I'm over it.
Right. House arrest.
That also goes along with the fact that Joe Schmo doesn't have the kind of attorneys that Lindsay Lohan has.
But
they don't have the kind of pull and the kind of power and the kind of connections and elbow rubs that your public defender's going to have.
The law should be the law.
Right.
The law should not be, well, if you have $200 million, well, then the law looks like this for you.
Right.
But if you only have $50 in your bank account, the law looks like this.
But that's the way the world works.
It is, and that's disgusting. All these law shows, whatever, which we love to watch, are just so amazing, because it's just like for instance, like Law Abiding Citizen. Like, I love that movie just because it makes so much sense. You know what I mean? It's like this guy, whatever, who's trying to let you know, like, don't make deals with criminals.
Right.
Period. You know, and so, like, that's like the whole thing about this movie, whatever, which is so true. And unfortunately, our justice system is not designed like that.
Right.
You know.
I just think, if nothing else, this should at least set a precedent, you know what I mean, that these celebrities are not invincible, and when you do let them, you know, relax the laws for them and things like this, like, something is going to happen.
Did he? I don't think he had any, I mean, I don't know, but I don't think he was not in the news all the time for getting in trouble and going back and forth, and he's not, you can't compare him to Lindsay Lohan as far as, like, you know what I'm saying, it's not like he had all these DUIs and this still happened, and, you know what I mean, it's kind of like two separate issues, because Lindsay Lohan, don't even get me started. Like, do what you're supposed to. Is it that fucking hard? Is it really that hard to stay in your, like, $1 million home and just kick back? Like, is it really that hard? Are you gonna die? You know, no.
I don't know what his history was of, like, driving while intoxicated, or if that was what happened, but he did, from my understanding, have a history of driving recklessly. Like, he loved driving very, very fast and had numerous accidents in the past.
Look what he did for a living. Like, what do you expect him to do on a Friday night? Knit a sweater? I'm not saying that he should do that, but I understand it. Like, I get that guy in a Ferrari doing 130 through the country because he can.
Right.
I've been on the back of a motorcycle going 110 thinking, dear Lord, if we hit a rock, I'm done for. But I had the time of my life. Thank God I lived to tell the story. You know what I mean? I think it's just tragic and terrible and awful. And Lindsay Lohan's a hot mess.
We'd like to give a special shout out to Camera Shy Clothing Company.
Thank you for these amazing shirts. Thank you, thank you.
Camera Shy is a hot new clothing line just for the ladies, and if you want to floss like the greatest, you can click the link below. Mine's the best. did you see Paris Hilton has a new reality show? Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
World of Paris, some shit.
Yeah.
This bitch is at a soup kitchen type thing. I don't know where she was, but it was a predominantly it looked like it was like a predominantly black crowd. The soup kitchen she's at, she's talking to this woman who's, I don't know, maybe like mid-40s, 50s or something, and this lady is like, ooh, I like your earrings, and Paris is like, you like them? And she's like, ooh, can I have those? And Paris is like, I'll give them to you for Christmas. And she like puts them on her, and the lady's like, ooh, I can't wait till I get home. I'm gonna tell them that Lindsay, is her name Lindsay? She's like, I'm not her. And she's like, oh, aren't you supposed to be in rehab? And Paris is like, I'm not Lindsay.
Why is your Paris Hilton voice so spot on though? Why is your Paris Hilton voice so spot on?
That was good. That was really good.
I am white. I mean, it just kind of comes to territory.
I thought you're light skinned.
Oh yeah, and Latino. Yes. What do you think I am? Fans.
Light skinned cutie.
What do you think? Where do you think Jessie comes from? Yes. Winner gets a prize.